Hi everyone, welcome to Learn English with Miss. Let's read together, and today the story that we are going to read is called The Stonecutter. It is a timeless Japanese folktale about a humble man who discovered that the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and that true power comes from being exactly who you are. Chapter 1. A Humble Life Among the Stones. In a quiet village nestled at the foot of a great mountain, there lived a stonecutter named Hiroshi. Day after day, he would rise with the sun, take up his hammer and chisel, and spend his hours shaping blocks of stone from the mountainside. His hands were calloused and strong, his back ached by evening, but there was a simple rhythm to his work, the ring of metal on stone, the smell of dust in the air, the satisfaction of a clean cut through rock. The stonecutter's daily life consisted of he woke up at dawn to the sound of birds. He carved stones for temples and homes. He earned just enough to feed his family, and he returned home tired but content. A glimpse of royal glory. One sweltering afternoon, as Hiroshi wiped sweat from his brow, he heard a commotion down the mountain path. Drums thundered, horns blared, a magnificent procession wound its way through the village. The king himself, carried on a golden palanquin adorned with silk and jewels. Servants fanned the king with peacock feathers. Guards marched in perfect formation. Everyone in the village dropped to their knees and bowed their heads. The king looked cool, comfortable, and utterly powerful. Hiroshi felt a pang in his chest. If only I could be a king, he whispered to himself. Then I would have true power. Then I would be happy. The spirit appears, the first wish granted, a voice in the mountain. That very night, as Hiroshi lay in his simple bed, he heard a voice, soft as wind through pine trees, yet clear as a bell. It was the mountain spirit who had heard his wish transformed into royalty. Your wish is granted, the spirit whispered. When Hiroshi opened his eyes, he was no longer a stonecutter. He wore robes of crimson silk, a golden crown set upon his head. He was the king. Servants brought him delicacies on silver platters. Musicians played soothing melodies. For a time, Hiroshi was content, but it didn't last long. The sun's unmatched power. One scorching summer day, King Hiroshi stood on his palace balcony. Despite all his wealth and authority, the relentless sun beat down upon him. His fine robes clung to his skin. Even in the shade, he felt the sun's overwhelming heat. The sun is more powerful than any king, he realized. It commands the very sky. If I were the sun, nothing could stand above me. Once again, the mountain spirit heard his wish. In an instant, Hiroshi became the sun, blazing, brilliant, feared and revered by all. He shone down on the earth with fierce pride, warming the fields and forests. But his triumph was short lived. Chapter 2. The Cloud That Blocks the Sun. As the sun, Hiroshi blazed with pride, believing himself the most powerful force in existence. A new wish. The cloud is stronger than the sun, he cried. I must become the cloud. The cloud arrives. A massive cloud drifted across the sky, blocking his light entirely. Darkness fell over the land. The spirit granted his wish. Hiroshi became a great storm cloud, drifting across the heavens. He blocked out the sun's rays. He poured rain upon the earth, flooding rivers and soaking fields. Surely, he thought, this was true power. Swept away by the wind. But then came a mighty wind, a howling gale that scattered the clouds like leaves. No matter how Hiroshi tried to hold his shape, the wind pushed him across the sky, tearing him apart, sending him spinning helplessly in every direction. The wind is the true master, Hiroshi gasped. Nothing can resist its force. I must become the wind. And so the mountain spirit, patient as ever, transformed him once more. Power after power. With each transformation, Hiroshi believed he had finally found ultimate power, only to discover something stronger still. Would this endless chase ever end? The mountain stands unmoved. As the wind, Hiroshi roared across the land with fury and pride. He bent mighty trees, whipped up waves on the sea, and rattled the windows of every home. Nothing seemed able to withstand him. But when he rushed against the great mountain, something astonishing happened. The mountain did not bend. It did not break. It simply stood there, solid and eternal, unmoved by even the fiercest gale. The mountain is stronger than the wind, stronger than the cloud, stronger than the sun, stronger than the king. I must become the mountain. The spirit granted this wish too, and so Hiroshi became the mountain itself, towering, immovable, eternal. At last, he thought, he had found true power. Nothing in the world could challenge him now. The revelation. The sound at his feet, a strange sensation. As Hiroshi stood proud and tall as the mountain, he suddenly felt a sharp, persistent pain at his base. Looking down, he looked down to see a tiny figure with the hammer and chisel, striking away at the stone, bit by bit. The truth revealed. It was a stone cutter, humble, patient, and steady. With each swing, the mountain trembled. With each chip, the mountain grew smaller. In that moment, understanding washed over Hiroshi like a cool mountain stream. The stone cutter, the very thing he had been at the beginning, was the most powerful of all, not because of magic or might, but because of patience, skill, and the quiet dignity of honest work. The greatest power of all, the mountain spirit appeared one final time, a gentle smile upon its face. Have you learned what you needed to learn? It asked. Hiroshi, humbled and wise at last, nodded. I chased after every kind of power in the world, only to discover I held the greatest power all along, the power to shape my own life with my own hands. Contentment, finding joy in who you truly are. Patience, great things are built one small effort at a time. Wisdom, the true power, comes from within. The spirit returned him to his humble form. Hiroshi picked up his hammer and chisel once more, and this time he worked with a grateful heart. He never wished to be anyone else again, for he had discovered the secret that so many search for all their lives. The greatest treasure is being exactly who you are.